Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear joining us from Frankfort. Governor, let's start with that strong economy. And the Bluegrass state has seen so many investments this year, actually a record-breaking number when it comes to new investments. What's made the difference? What makes Kentucky more attractive to new companies now compared to in years past?
Well, it has certainly been a thrilling year where we have destroyed every single record, whether it's total investment, where we normally have between $4 and $6 billion of new investment. We're going to cross $11 billion this year before the end of the year. We think we're going to break our new jobs record, meaning we've created more new jobs this year than ever before, and they're at the second highest wage that we have ever seen. Just as exciting, they are all across Kentucky, from eastern Kentucky becoming an agri-tech capital, growing tomatoes on top of abandoned coal mines. Both Ford and Toyota with massive electric vehicle announcements, the Ford announcement being the largest in our history at nearly $6 billion and 5,000 new jobs. There's Pratt Paper in Henderson, the largest investment in 25 years. It'll be the cleanest, greenest, most sophisticated recycled paper mill in the country. And I think it's as simple as everybody else seeing who we are. You know, right now we're the talk of every boardroom across America, and every country knows not just where we are, but what we can do. And I think it's that we're good people. We keep our word. When it comes to jobs, we don't let red or blue, Democrat or Republican, steer us off our mission of providing the very best jobs for the people of the Commonwealth. And they want to be a part of Team Kentucky. It's that concept that we don't just want to make an announcement with you. We want to help you build your facility. We want you to meet your schedule. We want you to be successful. We want to be a partner with you in the future. This is a long-term relationship that they see when they look at some of our largest employers.
And Governor, you mentioned Pratt Paper here in Henderson, that announcement, which leads me to my second question. When we spoke in person back right before the pandemic hit, March 2020, you said you felt a strong responsibility to ensuring Western Kentucky isn't forgotten when it comes to the future of the state's economy. Do you feel you've been able to deliver on that promise so far?
We do think that we are delivering, but there's never being satisfied, and they're always pushing for more. Whether it's infrastructure, where we're announcing water and sewer projects in every county in Western Kentucky. We'll approve one in every county in Western Kentucky by the end of the year. Continued work on the I-69 bridge, where this administration has been more laser focused than any other. It's the new terminal we're helping to build down in Paducah so that we could have air travel. And when you look at two of our biggest jobs and or investments across the Commonwealth this year, there is Pratt Paper in Henderson. I'm so proud of this investment. Anthony Pratt loves Kentucky. He is so excited about that facility. That is their biggest investment in their history, and it will be the most sophisticated recycled paper mill in the world when it's built. And then huge announcements in places like Madisonville as well. Alstrom Monksjoe with a huge jobs announcement that's going to help employ a lot of folks in the region. When you get a little further south and maybe move just a little further east, it's also Todd County with Novellis's first new facility since 1982. So Western Kentucky, like all of Kentucky, is going to benefit from this prosperity and from this economy on fire.
Thank you, Governor. We're certainly looking forward to those developments coming to fruition. Governor, it looks like next session, when we talk about the legislative session, is setting up to put forward two types of cannabis legislation. Medical marijuana bill that actually had some success in 2020 before the pandemic cut the session short. Another one proposed is a bill that would decriminalize marijuana use in the state. As a former Attorney General, do you think Kentucky should follow suit with states like Illinois that now allow both medical and recreational use?
Well, Kentucky should definitely move forward with medical marijuana. It is past time. It can provide some relief for folks that would otherwise turn to more damaging substances. Listen, this is the future. It's where things are going. it's time we joined so many other states in doing the right thing. You know, on the recreational side, what the bill that's been filed would do is not legalize recreational marijuana. It just says that nobody ought to go to jail for simply using marijuana, and I agree with that. You know, when we look at folks that are using versus selling, we need better methods, certainly, than arrest and incarceration. But we also, in the future, ought to at least be open to conversations on the recreational side. But what I'm advocating in this session is medicinal.
And Governor, when we spoke in person again in that March 20 conversation, you said a big part of medical marijuana is providing an industry structure that allows Kentucky farmers and Kentucky businessmen to thrive in that. Do you still think that's a pivotal part of setting this up?
Oh, it is. You know, Kentucky and our topography, our farmers could benefit significantly from legalization of medicinal marijuana and then allowing them to grow medicinal marijuana for other states. We got to have the right structure to make sure it's not abused here in Kentucky, that it's actually prescribed for medical purposes, and that requires having the right framework. So I supported generally pushing this forward in the last session. The primary bill that was discussed, though, would put the regulation of it in a cabinet that doesn't have regulators, in an area and an office that doesn't have them. So making sure we do this where we can be successful, and there's no need to get in the weeds about what office or cabinet that needs to be in, but we want to set it up to have an opportunity for success and not just to score political points.
Governor, your name has started to appear in some editorial conversations about the next presidential election. In some cases, you're being called the dark horse pick for the party if President Biden chooses not to seek that second term. Do you have any interest in running for president?
Well, I guess it's flattering, but I want to be Kentucky's governor. I'm raising my kids here in Kentucky. We love Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky, and I want to stay in Kentucky. The only thing I'm running for is re-election.
All right, thank you. We turn now to the pandemic. In a recent interview, you said the influx of federal funding during the health crisis has actually put Kentucky in a unique position to address infrastructure issues, including clean water and internet access. You mentioned that briefly in our conversation already, but wanted to give you a moment to talk about that exact timeline. When can we expect Kentucky to see those quality of life projects become completed projects that are helping Kentuckians thrive in their communities?
Well, it is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to provide families clean drinking water for the first time. I was in a town, Morton's Gap, in Hopkins County, where I got to meet families that were going to get their homes hooked up for the very first time. And your question is exactly what I think one of the grandkids in that home asked. So exactly when am I going to have that water? We brought over the engineers. They're going to be working on it that could give them that answer, but it is an amazing thing. Hundreds of Kentucky families getting clean drinking water for the first time. Also sanitary sewer, which both is needed in projects like one in Georgetown, where a community almost couldn't stay where they were because of the smell, or it's to the next industrial or business park that gives other people a chance to land that next Ford or Toyota expansion or Pratt paper opportunity. We are going to approve $250 million worth of projects by the end of the year. About 85% of that has already been announced, and the work is underway. You know, just the other day, again, in Georgetown, they've been under a consent decree by the federal government for projects they have to do. These dollars are going to get them out of that, put them in charge again. So these are things that can make major differences across Kentucky. Our broadband initiative is going on right now. We're going through the process of identifying where there is no broadband, and that's going to be where we get it first. But then we go to the infrastructure bill that just passed. We're going to see $170 million of extra money going into roads and bridges every year. $600 million of low-interest loans for water and sewer over the next 5 years, millions of dollars for EV infrastructure, for airports and for ports, which will certainly help the Henderson and surrounding area. And none of this has to be borne on the backs of Kentuckians. Nobody's rates are going to go up. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to invest in our infrastructure in ways that turn 2 years of economic momentum into 20 years of economic prosperity.
Lastly, Governor, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the Omicron variant and the potential for that new variant to derail progress in Kentucky, specifically, as we've talked much about this evening, the economy.
Well, neither Omicron nor Delta are going to throw us off of our economic trajectory. We have proven that we can deal with this virus and move our economy forward now for the last 18 months. For our existing businesses, you know, the receipts that come into the federal government, that come into the state government show they've never been doing better, though everyone wants more workforce to do even better, and we want to help them with that. You know, we have an economy on fire. Now, we do have to continue to deal with this pandemic. We can't be tired. We can't be done with it because it's not done with us. And while we're watching Omicron, it's really Delta that is enemy number one. We're going to report 3,000 new cases today. It continues to kill people and younger people at an alarming rate. So for everybody out there, please get vaccinated. Absolutely get boosted and get it before your Christmas gathering. Waning immunity is real. Keep your gatherings smaller if you can, and where appropriate, wear that mask. This is still with us. We're seeing increased cases, and we're going to through the holidays. Let's make sure that this is not the last year your favorite relative is at that Christmas dinner. Let's make sure we protect them and everybody else.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having us.